Hi, I'm Gene Kuntz, and I wish to share some of my thoughts with you on the invention that I have made called the V.I.B.E machine, and welcome you to the field of electromagnetic energy. First, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on myself as to where I've done for the last 53 years. I've been in electronics for 30 years, owned an electronics TV shop in Greeley, Colorado for 30 years, and fixed television, stereos, electronics, pretty much consumer electronics, industrial electronics, manufacturing of small prototype devices. And in my spare time, I would tinker around or invent things, and I was working on water research. That's how I originally started into this direction. I was purifying water, adding frequency, high voltage, and magnetics to water. And at one point I spoke with David Farnsworth. His grandfather invented the television. And between the two of us, we were able to get water to turn blue. And I drank it. And my energy shot through the roof. I was wired for about 6.5 hours and a lot of energy. And I thought, wow, I had to bottle and sell this stuff. But I put it in the bottle, and it would only hold a charge for about 12 hours. And so then I got the idea that, well, if the body is approximately 70% water, I could build a device you could sit in front of or stand in front of, and it would charge the water in the body, and it would give you more energy. So I went about doing research on Nikola Tesla, George Lakhovsky, Royal Rife, Papimi, Pior, Clark, everybody that had anything that was working in the past in these fields, and I come up with a device and I call it the V.I.B.E machine. My original inspiration for the device, the V.I.B.E machine, was my parents, who both died in 2000, had rheumatoid arthritis. And it was crippling to the point I saw them over the years. It was debilitating to the point that they could hardly move, and the onset of other issues developed. And so I wanted to not have this happen to me, as I was bending down to pick up televisions or electronics, and it was I was stiff and sore. So I decided to go in that direction. I'd like to mention that my background is in 30 years electronics. I do not have any medical background at all, but I do have some understanding as to how things work when it comes to electronics. Anything that's alive moves, and the rate at which it moves would be called the frequency or oscillatory rate, rated in cycles or hertz. And if you can match the frequency of a specific oscillation, you can cause the height of the frequency to increase. Some people call this the resonance. The frequency does not change, it still stays the same. We just want to increase the amplitude. And so my understanding that the body is a moving frequency device with different organs having different frequencies, whether it's the heart, the kidneys, the lungs, the intestines, the blood, everything in your system has a resonant frequency. So I went about developing a device that transmits different frequencies. By transmitting the correct frequencies to the human body, we can increase the amplitude or the height of the cells, which will cause the cells to work at a more optimal level. Over a period of years, from improper nutrition, environmental toxins, emotional issues, or a combination of these three, the body's cells start building up toxins around the cells. And if we can crank up the amplitude to, say, when you were a teenager, the cells will work at their optimal rate and allow the body to do what it needs to do to take care of whatever the issue is. So we're changing the environment around the cells in the body. Rather than trying to change the frequency stays the same. We're just increasing the oscillatory rate. We also take and change the transmembrane potential of the cells. The difference in voltage between the inner and outer cell walls of all your cells is called the transmembrane potential. The transmembrane cell potential of a normal cell is minus 70 millivolts DC. This occurs from 2 parts sodium producing 3 parts potassium in a cell. And that voltage, when it drops to a minus 50 millivolts, the cells become sluggish, toxins can build up around the cells, and they can give it names like headaches, arthritis, any type of issue, health issue. If the cell voltage drops to a minus 30 millivolts, the cell can actually die or ferment, and it can become cancerous. So we assimilate a minus 70 millivolts DC instantly to the body, which brings this transmembrane potential back to the correct state. We also produce what they call biophotonic light, which is the DNA interconductivity throughout the system, the plasma between the cells. And we are doing research at this point to prove that. We have done research here in the store, and it definitely does produce biophotonic light. So we're taking all of the frequencies of the body, we're transmitting it at a negative voltage, and we're producing biophotonic light with a carrier frequency of an electromagnetic field of a 0.65 Gauss. The Earth's field is a 0.5 Gauss. The V.I.B.E. machine produces 0.65 Gauss. A refrigerator magnet would be 10 Gauss, or an MRI would be 10,000 Gauss. So it's a slight field. It's not very strong, but it's used to carry these frequencies into the human body. And we also do some other things with the device. We have blocked electrical fields, but allow electromagnetic fields to come through the body with the specific materials that we use. We have specific geometry that is transmitted to allow these frequencies to go into the system. We also have an antenna that transmits what they call scalar waves, which have the ability to travel 1.5 times the speed of light. They'll go through anything, including lead, and they'll change your pH to a more alkaline state. One unique ability that the V.I.B.E. machine has, I'd like to explain to you in a different way. If, for instance, you see a trauma, like an automobile accident, it goes into your mind 3-dimensional form, not 2D, but 3D. And I worked with a guy that invented GPS, Global Positioning Systems, and I learned how to transmit from a single antenna 3-dimensional holographic forms, which I've imprinted into the gold plating process, and I've placed this gold inside of the device and on top of the device. And so when this comes on and it transmits all the frequencies of the human body, it transmits them holographically into the system so that we can resonate with the human body with the correct geometry. Geometry is the key, and that's why we're getting the results. Okay, I'd like to demonstrate how the V.I.B.E. machine is used. You can have up to 10 people around the device. You set approximately 3 feet, center of the machine, center of your head, to the machine in a chair. We use, they're called AccuVac coils. They're gold plated, and you put one in the left hand, one in the right hand. And what these do is they are allowing the frequencies to be brought into the body via like remote control, only without the wires. And you have your feet flat on the floor. You just sit here. The device will come on, cycle on and off with the timing already set. And we run the individuals anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. The more toxins that you have in the system, the less amount of time we go. Like the triathletes will start out at 4 to 5 minutes. Most people will start out at 2 to 3 minutes. If it's a very serious health issue, say a stage 4 where they're sent home to die, we'll have them work their way up to 8 minutes a day. And it's very simple. You just sit here and let the machine run, and that's it. The more water you drink before and after you use the device, the better it works, the more conductive you are. One of the first things that happened after I got the device working, set the resonant frequency, the Q, the high voltage, is I would stand in front of it for 2 minutes, and I noticed that my neck would start popping. And so I called the chiropractor the next day and I said, what's going on? And he said that the calcium in my neck's dissolving. And I said, is that good? And he goes, yeah. When you were a teenager, you didn't have calcium buildup. And so I had a friend that had his girlfriend had breast cancer, was diagnosed with breast cancer. The doctor said she had nickel-sized tumors, dime-sized tumors, lesions. It was in her lymph nodes. She needed a mastectomy, reconstructive surgery. Don't wait. Come in right away. And instead, her boyfriend got a V.I.B.E machine, and she sat in front of it for 3.5 minutes a day for 30 days. She went back to the doctor. The doctor checked her out and said, your tumors are gone, but you still have cancer. So she sat in front of it for another 30 days and went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, there's no cancer here. And that's been about 22 months ago, and last I spoke with her, she told me that the doctor said she still doesn't have cancer. And another guy came in with his wife. She had terminal brain cancer and was told that she had 2 months to live. And we had her sit in front of the machine for 2 minutes a day for 5 days. She went back to the oncologist, and the doctor said the cancer is gone. And she actually lived a year, I think a little over a year after that, but she was only in the one time. So we did get results in that area. And so then I decided to set a machine in my store, and we started V.I.B.E.ing people coming in to give them more energy. And it seemed like the side effects were that their serious health issues seemed to not be there anymore. We had a guy that was on insulin for 10 years, and he sat in front of the machine every day for 3 months, and he told me that he didn't need to use insulin anymore. We've had people come in with on 17 pills a day, and by using the machine for about 3 months between the individual and their doctors, they have been able to not be on medication at all through the advice of their doctors. I've had people on oxygen for 4.5 years, use it every day for 4 months, and they're not using oxygen. Their oxygen levels up to 93. And we've had tremendous results across the board on MS, Parkinson's, lupus, headaches, eyesight, cataracts, eye floaters, tinnitus, tendinitis, aches and pains, blood pressures, blood sugars, just a modality of issues. It doesn't seem to work on everybody, but overall it tends to get results on the majority of people. The more water that you drink, the better it works. We have people bring in their pets, cats and dogs. We've actually sold machines to veterinarian clinics and animal hospitals. This is Noel, a large dog that came in with a tumor, and we V.I.B.E the dog for 2 minutes a day for 2 weeks, and you can see how it has dissipated as far as the tumor goes. V.I.B.E machine has been on the market for about 25 months now, and we are currently in 42 states and 10 countries. We've sold 78 machines in Colorado alone by word of mouth, and we're in the process of clinical studies. We have been contacted by Stanford, Harvard, Penn State, University of Arizona, University of Michigan, Health Ministries in Ottawa, Holos University in Kansas, the U.S. Army, the National Foundation of Alternative Medicine in Washington, D.C. So far, and we have clinicals. We have testing that has started at Holos University, University of Arizona. The Dr. Glenn Ryan in Huntington, New York, the U.S. Army, and we are setting up 4 IRBs right now, one on pain caused by wounds, one on lung cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. And I feel that these studies need to be done so that we can make claims. Right now, what we've seen as far as the results are considered just testimonials or anecdotals. So we're moving on to the next step to get these clinical studies done so we can publish third-party information from these universities, and so that we can get this information out and more of these machines can get out to the public. The V.I.B.E machine can bring back its original state of vibrational level to your body and balance your system. Over 40,000 people have used the V.I.B.E machine with no adverse effects. And if you can balance your system, the system can do what it needs to do to take care of whatever the issue may be. Healthy people can use the V.I.B.E machine. Seriously ill individuals can use the V.I.B.E machine. We've had pregnant women, we've had 4-month-olds, we've had 90-year-olds, we've had cats, dogs, birds, with everything being good. It's a matter of using the device on a consistent basis and allowing the body to balance itself. Balance is the key. Some of the individuals that have purchased the V.I.B.E machine are chiropractors, MDs, acupuncturists, massage therapists, Reiki healers. We have dog kennels, animal hospitals. Actually, there's 23 different categories. About 40% of our sales happen to be private individuals that have serious health issues or just want to get one for their family. A lot of the professionals are incorporating it with their modalities, whether being the chiropractic or acupunctures, where they'll V.I.B.E the individuals and have better results with their massages or whatever they need to do. Thank you for your time, and I would invite you to experience the V.I.B.E machine and see what it can do for you.